FG refutes rumor on the resurgence of COVID-19 in Nigeria. 3 die in Lagos-Ibadan road crash. Fire guts Lagos TCN substation. On the foreign scene, South African kidnapped in 2017 released in Mali. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for joining. And now the news in full. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Alupati, has dismissed the rumor on the resurgence of COVID-19 in the country, stating that there is no scientific research record to back the claims. Professor Alupati disclosed this at the maiden public lecture series of the Federal University of Health Sciences, Otokpo in Benue State, where he was represented by his senior special advisor, Emmanuel Odu. According to him, Nigeria has in the past fared well in combating pandemics. Now, the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, has advocated improved access to vaccination to strengthen and ensure quality health coverage for the people of the state. The Emir made the call when he received new incentives All Babies Are Equal initiative, who paid him a courtesy visit in his palace. The Emir mentioned that the Emirates Health Committee is actively working to ensure quality health for the people of Kano while pledging the full support of the Kano State Emirate Council's Committee on Health for the All Babies program, as it was already approved and supported by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar. He emphasized that the initiative should promptly involve relevant stakeholders for advice and to resolve issues in the face of any challenges. The program launched after a house-to-house survey conducted across some selected local government areas identified that a significant barrier to caregivers bringing their babies for immunization was the lack of transport funds. In the meantime, Lagos State government has taken a significant step by subsidizing the expenses associated with screening blood products. This measure aims to alleviate the financial burden on healthcare providers and the public, ensuring easier access to life-saving blood for all residents. The Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Blood Transfusion Service, Dr. Bodurin Oshikomaya, explained that the current economic realities, which caused a hike in the screening fees from 5,000 naira to 8,000 naira per unit, made the agency propose a total access fee of 13,000 naira 500, up from 7,000 naira. Acknowledging the economic challenges prompting this raise, Dr. Oshikomaya revealed that the state government, understanding the financial strain on blood screening cost, has approved a subsidy of 6,000 naira 500 per unit of blood available for transfusion. Now, in another development, Vice President Kashim Shettima has inaugurated the Nutrition Co-Working Committee to adopt a strategy to bring down the prevalence of malnutrition in the country. Shettima, while inaugurating the committee, said it will provide the needed expertise for the work of the Nutrition Council of Nigeria. Report.
Vice President Kashim Shettima, who lamented the unfortunate situation in Nigeria, stated that more needs to be done to ameliorate the situation. He said with 33% prevalence of chronic malnutrition in the country, accounting to $2.5 billion annually in losses, only 88 of 100 kids under the age of 5 in Nigeria can survive. Shettima implored the committee to work hard and change Nigeria's narrative on nutrition. Speaking, Special Advisor to the Vice President on Public Health, Dr. Uju Okorocha, said 88 of 100 children are most likely not to be able to get to the age of 5 as a result of malnutrition. She said the Vice President had ordered the committee to take proactive and sustainable actions to be able to change narratives in the country.
And he has given us an order to ensure that we take proactive and sustainable actions to be able to change the nutrition narrative here in the country. A lot of that has to do with coordination across the different MDAs, because as we know, nutrition cuts across, is cross-cutting across agriculture, education, Ministry of Water Resources, Social Protection, and health as well. So it requires a coordinated and collaborative effort.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Aliko Dangote Foundation, Zuwaira Yusufu, affirmed that the committee will support the National Council on Nutrition to help drive this agenda in Nigeria.
So what we need to do differently is synergize our efforts more. Right now, there's a lot of siloed efforts going on. So people are working on different things. Some people are working on CMAM, some people are working on prevention, some people are working on agriculture, some people are working on RUTF. And really the idea is, how do we put everybody's efforts together so that we're all moving in the same direction and we can count the impact together of what we're doing.
Members of the committee include representatives from the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, the Federal Ministry of Budget and National Planning, the Nigerian Governors Forum, the World Bank Group, Nutrition International, the Nigerian Nutrition Society of Nigeria, and the Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition in Nigeria.
In a sad development, 3 persons have lost their lives on Saturday night in a crash along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in Ogun State. It was learned that the crash occurred around Cornell Filling Station at about 9 p.m. involving 18 persons, including 16 male adults and 2 female adults. The Federal Road Safety Corps confirmed the accident in a statement by its spokesperson in Ogun, Florence Okpe, on Saturday night. She stated that the injured victims were taken to Elera Hospital for medical attention, while the bodies of those who lost their lives were deposited at the same hospital's morgue in Shagamu. A fire accident on Saturday night gutted the office of Transmission Company of Nigeria's power substation in Maryland, Lagos State. According to a late-night statement released by the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, the fire has been put out. The Director, Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, Margaret Adeseyi, also stated in the statement that no life was lost in the fire incident. Now, reactions have continued to trail the refusal of the Supreme Court to release the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB Nnamdi Kanu. According to residents of Owerri, the Imo State capital, the continuous detention of Nnamdi Kanu is not doing any good to the nation, especially in the southeast, where his incarceration has caused security breaches. Trust TV's Ajibade Press. There's us more.
Across the length and breadth of the state, there is a level of discontent as many expect a different outcome from the Supreme Court. According to them, the federal government has the power to find a political solution despite court's ruling in order to calm fraying nerves in the southeast and bring about peace in the country.
There is no way the Supreme Court can release Nnamdi Kanu without the consent of the president, without the president authorizing it. It's impossible. It has never happened. In our own time, it wasn't the Supreme Court that released me. It wasn't the Supreme Court that released Asari Dukubo. It wasn't the Supreme Court that released the Federal Fashion. It wasn't the Supreme Court that released Gani Adams. So when has the Supreme Court come to play here? Why must it be Nnamdi Kanu now that the Supreme Court more release?
Residents in the state decried what they term unjust treatment being meted at Nnamdi Kanu, maintaining that others who are agitating for self-determination in other geopolitical zones in the country are not faced with such inhumane treatments.
He's fighting a just cause, and he should be released. He should be released because he's fighting for the betterment of everybody that loves good thing in this country. So no matter what is going on, I will stand on his side.
They are suffering him and I think he should be released.
Twice, many people have spoken about this matter, that they should release him so that we will have peace. Because if you continue to hold him, it will continue to bring problem in the southeast. So we pray for his release. Let the federal government do something to release this man, so we have our peace and have our everything normalized.
Several demands by those perpetrating acts of insecurity in the state has been the unconditional release of the IPOB leader, but it appears their call is not getting the desired attention.
The Supreme Court is an arm of government. The federal government, the president can use the Supreme Court to release Nnamdi Kanu. He can release him on his own. But not to put it as if the Supreme Court doesn't release Nnamdi Kanu, then Nnamdi Kanu cannot be released. Nobody is expecting the Supreme Court to release him in the first place. We still expect the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu as Christmas gift to the Southeast. As they release Sunday Igboho, who is now enjoying with his family.
Residents, however, pray and hope that the security situation will not get worse following the Supreme Court judgment. Ajibade prays, Trust TV News, Owerri.
The mining activities in Plateau State are done with some level of carelessness, primitivity, and lack of pertinent knowledge and guidance. The inability of miners to cover their pits after mining portends danger to lives while causing environmental degradation. Dixon Adama visited some of the abandoned mining pits and sent in this report as presented from our studio.
Plateau State is known for its mining activities for many decades now, hence the nomenclature given to its capital, Jos, as a tin city. Tin mining activities in the state dated back to the early 70s when foreign expatriates from different countries and over 100 companies came to the state for mining activities. The state then boomed in mining and was said to have one of the highest tin and other mineral deposits underneath. The unorganized nature of mining is creating environmental degradation within the areas.
It's a problem to the community again because when the holes are being dug, there's no replacement of the pit. So with this, you see, it's a danger to the children.
If the government can secure the mining pit or recover them so that people can use it for farming or convert the mining pit to a fishing pond so that economic activities will be going on the mining pit instead of killing people as it used to do.
Worse still, those mining pits have become places for criminals to perpetrate their evil acts by either dumping exhibits of their criminal activities or dumping bodies of some of victims of crisis or criminal activities.
This is News Update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Japa syndrome make resident doctors halt sensitization against brain drain in Katsina. Details of that and more after the break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the News Update on Trust TV, and here's a recap of our major stories. Federal government refused rumor on the resurgence of COVID-19 in Nigeria, and 3 die in Lagos-Ibadan road crash. Now, 2 more stories. Borno State has described former President Muhammadu Buhari as a true beloved father of the state. A message by Governor Umar Zulum to celebrate the former president's 81st year's birthday highlights the achievements of Buhari, especially his efforts in fighting Boko Haram in Borno State. According to Zulum, Buhari made all his humanitarian policies at the federal level deliberately in favor of the state's government determination to strengthen citizens' resilience against Boko Haram. He prayed to Allah to grant the former president many more blissful years and in the best of health, strength, faith, and wisdom. Now, worried by the Japa syndrome, the Association of Resident Doctors at the Federal Teaching Hospital Katsina organized a lecture to build the capacity of its members against any temptation to leave the country in search of greener pasture. The lecture is a part of the association's annual general meeting, which held at the Federal Teaching Hospital in Katsina. Abdullahi Ahmadi completes the report.
Statistics show that no fewer than 3 resident doctors monthly leave the Federal Teaching Hospital Katsina to foreign countries for lucrative jobs, a situation posing serious threats to healthcare delivery with shrinking manpower to run health facilities in the state. To mitigate the alarming rate of brain drain in the sector, the association is equipping its members with entrepreneurial skills to complement the individual capacity and incomes of the members, thereby checking the persistent Japa syndrome. The doctors were taught how to take advantage of other businesses outside medical profession, such as poultry and animals husbandry, that could boost their incomes to adequately take care of their families amidst harsh economic realities.
A lot of resident doctors are migrating outside the country, and when they have interviewed them, they learn that they have so many challenges regarding the economic instability they are facing. So purposely, because when they look at the abroad, they were fed extensively, their salary is good, their salary is enough to take care of their family and their social needs. So that is what necessitated. How are we going to motivate most of these our resident doctors so that they will stay at home, engage in some of the entrepreneurial activities?
Most of the resident doctors are forced to migrate elsewhere due to harsh economic predicaments in Nigeria and the opportunities presented to them outside the shores of the country.
Even the nurses, they are leaving drastically. I know of the nurses, they are leaving the country in drone because there are some countries, they made their own employment requirement easy for Nigerian workers, especially nurses. More of recent, was it yesterday or it was I saw an advert from Qatar.
Virtually the health workers, not only the doctors, and as a union, we usually fight for every health workers. That is why we, in our last industrial disharmony, one of our demands is federal government should bring out a circular called one-on-one, so that any doctors that leave is replaced by a doctor. Any nurse that leave is replaced by nurse. Any pharmacy that leave is replaced by pharmacy. All the essential workers that leave will be replaced. Even among the doctors, if a gynecologist leave, it should be replaced by a gynecologist.
Public commentators advised political actors to, as a matter of urgency, provide a decent living wage and conducive work environment to Nigerian workers, including doctors in both public and private sectors, to avert the calamities that could befall the country as a result of Japa syndrome. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And now on the foreign scene, a South African paramedic who had been held by jihadis in Mali for over 6 years has been released. Security and humanitarian sources told AFP on Sunday. Jaco van de Winter, 48 years, was kidnapped in Libya on November 3rd, 2017 on his way to a power plant construction site around 1,000 kilometers 600 miles south of the capital, Tripoli. 3 other Turkish engineers seized at the same time were freed 7 months later, but van de Winter remained in captivity and was moved to Mali. A foreign humanitarian source said that van de Winter was released on the border between Mali and Algeria. The security source said van de Winter was currently under observation at a hospital in Algiers. The two sources confirmed information given by an influential South African charity, Gift of the Givers, which was also involved in mediation efforts for his release. Still on the international scene, at least 12 refugees and asylum seekers, including women and children, have drowned following a tragic shipwreck off Libya. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, says the IOM's Libya office early on Sunday quoted survivors as saying the boat was carrying about 86 people. A large number of migrants are believed to have died because of high waves which swamped their vessel after it left from Zuara on Libya's northwest coast. The IOM's Libya office said in a statement most of the victims were from Nigeria, the Gambia and other African countries. The IOM office further said that nearly 25 people were rescued and transferred to a Libyan detention center. Libya and Tunisia are principal departure points for refugees and asylum seekers risking dangerous sea voyages in hopes of reaching Europe via Italy. And now finally on sports news, Stephen Curry became the first NBA player to make 3,500 three-pointers as the Golden State Warriors defeated the Brooklyn Nets. Curry passed the mark midway through the first quarter and finished with 37 points, including 6 three-pointers as the Warriors came through 124 to 120. The 35-year-old also scored 12 straight points in less than 2 minutes in the fourth quarter to seal the victory. It ended a 3-game losing streak for the Warriors. Teammate Klay Thompson, who moved into 9th place on the career three-pointer leaderboard, finished with 24 points, while 4 others scored in double figures for the Warriors. Still on sports news, Liverpool and Scotland legend Sir Kenny Dalglish will be honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award at BBC Sports Personality of the Year. The 72-year-old won 8 league titles and 3 European Cups as a player and manager at Anfield after joining the club from Celtic in 1977. Dalglish, who also led Blackburn to the title, is Scotland's most capped male player and joint record goal scorer. Glasgow-born Dalglish began his career at Celtic, where he won 4 Scottish League titles before Liverpool paid a then British record transfer fee of $440,000 to sign him. In his first season with the Messiah's side club, he scored 31 goals, including the only goal in the 1978 European Cup final against British Wembley. He will go to win a further 2 European Cups and 5 league titles before becoming player manager at the age of 35 in May 1985. And with that, we have come to the end of the Trust TV News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentary. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.